Hello everybody, my name is Star Wars Boy, how are you? And welcome back to the channel for a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. Last week we did our class guide on the Assault, so it's time to move on to the Juggernaut, the Heavy class. Also, only a small percentage of viewers are actually subscribed, so please subscribe, it's completely free and it helps out the channel. Anyways, let's get started. Now, compared to the Assault class, the Heavy is a lot more tankier, being able to take a lot more hits and dishing out as much damage as possible with his countless explosives. Taking a look at his base stats, we can already see he has a massive advantage over the three other classes. He has a health pool of 200, making the Heavy immune to a lot of abilities that would usually one-hit kill. Their base weapon is honestly not the greatest, dealing 15 to 10 damage per hit. The DPS is 160 to 100 and has a standard range of 20 to 40 meters. This weapon, however, can fire for a while as it overheats after 56 shots. Moving on to blasters, and compared to the Assault, the Heavy has a lot worse blaster options. The first one is the DC-15LE, which is similar to the base weapon other than the fact that it has a faster fire rate and can be unlocked after 50 kills with the Heavy. It deals 16 to 10 damage with a rate of fire of 700 rounds per minute. Its range is standard with an overheat after 56 shots. Now, as for attachments, I'd recommend the Reduced Recoil mod. Everyone knows what Reduced Recoil is, so I'm not going to go into too much detail for that one. The second attachment I'd recommend is the Explosive Shot mod. Explosive Shot is really good against heroes as they will take some damage through their blocks. This mod does increase the heat buildup, which is something to be wary about, but honestly, it's a lot faster to overheat this blaster than manually reload. The next blaster is the FWNB-10K, which has a pretty slow fire rate compared to the last gun and can be unlocked after 200 kills with the Heavy. This weapon is a bit more accurate, firing slower but dealing more damage at 24 to 15 with a rate of fire of 450 rounds per minute and overheating after 39 shots. Now, the attachment I would recommend for this weapon is the auto cooling mod, which lets the blaster cool down when your finger isn't on the trigger, meaning you don't have to manually reload. This weapon also does have an ion shot mod available, and it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. Next up, we have the TL-50, which is one of the better blasters in the game and can be unlocked after 400 kills with the Heavy. The damage per hit is 20 to 10 with a rate of fire of 700 rounds per minute. Its damage is standard and it overheats after 34 shots. Now, for attachments, I'd recommend the Improved Cooling mod and the Reduced Spread mods. Don't bother with the secondary fire as it's nowhere as good as Iden's, and both those attachments are just better. The final blaster is the T-21, which is probably the most underrated blaster in the game and can be unlocked after 50 kills with the Heavy in co-op. The damage per hit is 65 with a rate of fire of 300 rounds per minute. The base weapon actually has no drop-off damage and overheats after 12 shots. Now, the first attachment I'm going to recommend is the Improved Handling mod. This mod reduces recoil and increases accuracy, however the range becomes standard at 20 to 40 meters. This mod is still worth it as it's going to be very easy to hit your shots. The next attachment I'm going to recommend is the Burst mode, which enables a 3-round burst blast with each pull of the trigger. The Burst mode lets you shred infantry and even reinforcement, and it's one of the best mods in the game. Now, moving on to their abilities, and just like every character in the game, the Heavy has 3 abilities which can be upgraded or replaced. Their standard L1 ability is an Impact Grenade which deals 120 damage with a 40-second cooldown. 3 available cards for this ability are the Improved Impact Grenade, the Ion Torpedo, and the Detonite Charge. Their standard R1 ability is the Combat Shield, which has 150 health and protects you in the front from all fire. 3 available cards for this ability are the Ion Turret, the Barrage, and the Improved Combat Shield. Their final middle ability is their Sentry, which is a fast-firing minigun that limits your mobility and lets you fire until the ability duration has ended. The cards available for this ability are the Supercharged Sentry, the Explosive Shot Sentry, and the Mobile Sentry. Moving on to star cards, and I have 3 loadouts for you guys that serve their purpose really well. The first is the Battle Point loadout. This is a loadout that should get you a bunch of battle points a lot faster than your teammates, giving you an early chance to play the hero. The first card and the most important card to this setup is the Bounty Hunter star card. With this card, you gain points at an increased rate from 5% to 20% with a maxed out star card. I feel like I don't have to go into too much detail because the description of the card says it all. The second card is the Supercharged Sentry, which is a mix between the Mobile Sentry and the Explosive Sentry. This Sentry has a faster fire rate with splash damage. Now, whenever you're playing the Walker phase, you can shoot this thing at the Walker and it'll deal a lot of damage to the Walker, and in exchange get a lot of points for playing the objective. This sentry is also amazing at gunning down groups of enemies and dealing as much damage as possible. The final card for this setup is the Improved Combat Shield. Now, the reason I put this card in this loadout is mainly because it will help you stay alive longer, which will let you get battle points faster. If you're losing every single gunfight, simply pop your shield and spray right back at them. You'll gain points for that kill and you'll still be alive instead of waiting to spawn in. The next loadout is the Combat loadout, which is designed for basically any trooper mode without an objective like Supremacy and Blast. The first card is the Resourceful card. With this card, all your abilities will have a shorter recharge times, from 10% to 28% with a maxed out star card. This card is pretty self-explanatory. It will let you use your abilities more often, most notably the Combat Shield, which will be very useful in helping you get kills. The next card is the Survivalist card, which reduces your health regeneration delay from 20% to 40% with a maxed out star card. This card is key to survival as you're going to be at critical health for a lot less, since your health will be regenerating sooner. The final card I'm going to recommend is the Improved Combat Shield, which I already touched upon. If you pop this in your face while in a gunfight, you will win 9 times out of 10, and it's honestly just a really good thing to have, knowing you can deploy a shield to save your life or make yourself even more of a tank. Now, the final loadout we have is the Objective loadout, which should help with the objective while the match's fate is undecided. The first 2 cards for this loadout will be exactly the same as the last loadouts, Resourceful and Survivalist. These cards are great as Resourceful will let you use your abilities more often, allowing for either more damage on the objective or more firepower to defend or overrun it. Survivalist will let you stay alive for longer on the objective. If you're low on health, simply find a safe spot and your health will regen sooner than without this card. The final card is the Barrage, which fires 3 small grenades that pack quite a punch. It has a cooldown from 40 seconds to 32 seconds with a maxed out star card. This card is excellent as you're going to be able to fill a room with a bunch of explosives, not to mention that you're going to be able to do it a lot more often thanks to the Resourceful card. So that is going to do it for this class guide, guys. Hopefully this guide will help you guys either choose which gun to use or which loadout is best for you. My personal heavy loadout is either the T21 or TL50 with the Resourceful, Supercharged Sentry, and Improved Combat Shield star cards. Next time you play as the heavy, try out different star cards to see which one you like the best. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next time, bye, and may the force be with you, always.